In this short video, I'll show you how to turn your bank transactions into a profit and loss in Google Sheets for free. It's a simple way to get a quick overview of your income and expenses, whether you're looking at 1 month or catching up an entire year. So let's get started. First, log into your bank account and find your transactions. Look for something like download or export. If you're catching up a full year, set the date range from January 1st through December 31st. If your bank won't let you download the whole year at once, just download it in sections and you can combine them later. Choose CSV as the format when you download the file. Now open Google Sheets. If you're in Chrome, type sheet.new. Otherwise, go to Google Drive, New, Google Sheets. Then rename the file something clear, like 2025 P&L or 2025 transactions. Now open your downloaded file. If columns are cut off, click the upper left corner to select everything, then double-click between any two column letters to auto-fit the widths. Now click anywhere in the data and press Ctrl-A to select all, Command-A if you're on a Mac, and then Ctrl-C to copy. Go back to Google Sheets, click cell A1, and Ctrl-V to paste our data. Now we'll clean up the file so it's easier to work with. Keep these columns, date, description or memo, and amount, which may be one column or two. If you already have one amount column, skip to the next step. If your file has debit and credit columns, here's how to convert them into a single amount column. Type amount in the column header to the right of your data. In the first cell beneath amount, type a formula to subtract debit minus credit. In this example, debits are in D and credits are in E. And we're on row 2, so I'll type or select E2 minus D2. Check the signs. Deposits or income should be positive and expenses should be negative. If yours are flipped, switch your formula around. If everything's correct, fill the formula down. Now copy the entire sheet by selecting in the upper left corner, Ctrl-C, and paste as values. Now delete the debit and credit columns, as well as any other columns that we don't need. Remember to keep date, description, and amount. We can also delete a current balance. Now let's make this readable. We'll widen the columns if needed. Select the date column and make sure the format is set as a date format. Select the amount column. Now just select this $sign to format it as currency. We'll widen it a little and make a couple of adjustments for preference. Now, we'll add one more column here to the right called Category. Finally, let's select the header row here, Data, create a filter. Now we'll build the profit and loss summary right on this sheet. I've linked the Schedule C-based account list shown on the screen in the description. You can copy it in if you like. Otherwise, you can type your own account list. If you use this list, feel free to add or remove accounts as needed, then left-click the column B header and drag the cursor to the right to select columns B and C. With both columns selected, press Ctrl-C to copy. Back on your bookkeeping sheet, click on cell G1 and then Ctrl-V to paste the account list. If you're typing your own accounts, note that the account type is on the left and the category is in the column to the right. This keeps account types from being included in your category dropdown, which will be based on column H. Next, we'll connect your totals to your category list. We'll use SUMIF to total each category and wrap it in if to keep blank rows from showing zeros as we copy it down. Double-click the cell to the right of your first category. On the example sheet, that's cell I5. Type the formula shown on the screen. It's also in the description if you'd like to copy and paste. On the example sheet, column D is category and column C is amount. If yours are different, just swap those column letters. This formula basically totals the amounts for whatever category is listed in H5. If H5 is blank, it leaves the total blank. Copy the formula down for the rest of your category list. You can drag the fill handle down or copy and paste down the column. Do not copy as values. Next, click the cell to the right of Total Income in column I. Press backspace to clear the cell. Do the same for total COGS, gross income, total expenses, and net income. Now we'll replace those formulas. In column I to the right of total income, type equals sum, parenthesis, and then select total range to sum. Press enter to close it out. For total COGS, since we only have one cost of goods sold line on our example, I'll just type equals and click that cell to connect it. For gross income, we'll type equals total income plus total COGS. Since COGS will be a negative amount on this sheet, adding those together will effectively subtract cost of goods sold from the income. All right, I made those bold. Click that and click this bold icon up here to make it bold if you like. And then come down here to total expenses. We'll type the sum formula for total expenses by typing equals sum, parentheses, and then parenthesis, and then selecting the total range for our expenses. For net income, we'll type equals gross income plus total expenses. Make those two cells bold, and our profit and loss formulas are set up. Now let's make categorizing easy. Select the cells in your category column where your transactions are. Go to Data, Data Validation, Add a Rule, change the range to exclude the header row starting with D2, and you can make the range precise if you'd like. I'm going to leave it as it is, and then come to drop down from a range. Click inside this box underneath and select column H for our range. Okay. This will now show all of our categories as an option for the category drop down. Click Done and exit out. Now you can click a transaction and choose the correct category. We'll widen this so you'll be able to see the categories. Right. Before we continue categorizing, let's format the profit and loss to look a little better. First, click inside cell G3 and type Profit and Loss Summary. We'll make that bold and enlarge it a little if you'd like. Now click on the cell one row up and one column over to the left of the Profit and Loss Summary. Drag your mouse over to the right, one column past the amount column, and then drag this area down. Select to one row past the bottom of the profit and loss. Come up to the border icon, select white for the color, and then select all borders to create white borders to blend in with the background there. Now select the area again. Come back up to the borders, select the color you would like for your border, and then select this outer borders to create an outside border for your profit and loss summary. Now, let's make sure that the amounts are formatted as accounting. Now come to this column G where your account types are, and make that column narrow so that the categories show underneath the correct headings. We can make it even more narrow. And now finally, I'm going to adjust these side columns to try to make it look a little better. So now the profit and loss summary is formatted. One final thing you want to do, as you're categorizing, you may find that you have some I'll call it non-profit and loss categories. These will include loan payments, at least the principal part of your loan payments, large assets, personal expenses, transfers, and things like that. You can have these split out. You can add all your non-profit and loss categories you like here, or just like I did, I just put one line for non-P&L. And that way, when we come back to categorize, if something doesn't belong in the category on the profit and loss, I can select that. Continue categorizing your transactions by selecting the correct value from the dropdown. You can also begin typing in the cell and select from the categories that appear. Use the description filter to bulk categorize. Clear the filter, and then select items that you can categorize together. Okay, assuming all Amazon Marketplace offer supplies, I'll type supplies, select supplies, and drag the category down for all of the Amazon purchases. Select the filter icon and select all to bring all the lines back. Also, as you're categorizing, periodically select the category item, clear the filters, and select only blanks to show only uncategorized items as you work through the transaction list. Select all. Okay. Let's scroll over to the profit and loss. Make sure it appears to be updating correctly, and it does. Now you have your transactions in Google Sheets, a category dropdown, and a profit and loss summary that updates as you categorize. As a final step, when you finish categorizing everything, review your profit and loss if anything looks off. So let's say your supplies look like, wait, I didn't spend that much on supplies. You could just come back here, filter for supplies. Well, first clear your filter, and then select supplies. Okay. And then you can see all the transactions that were categorized to supplies and whether those are correct or not. Click OK. So that's it. If you found this helpful, please subscribe. Let me know in the comments if there's a topic you'd like to see in my next video. Thanks for watching.